Hello, and welcome to the Gooseboyz podcast.
Hello.
It's me, your host, Aaron Eads.
I'm the other host, Sherwood James.
And today, we're talking about the Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. What we usually do
Wait,
here.
what is this podcast?
It's a Gooseboyz podcast. What we do is we read the Goosebumps book and then watch the correlating episode and then talk about the differences.
Did we watch the episode?
This episode is going to be the one with the biggest difference between the book and the episode because it's the first one where there is no episode. And I don't know how, going forward, we're not necessarily going to be doing every book that wasn't made into an episode. But the next episode in the chronological order is The Return of the Mummy, because they made an episode out of the sequel book to this book, but this book did not get an episode.
So wait, are we following along in order of episode, broadcast, and corresponding book?
Yes, because the primary thing is we're watching the episodes as well, and honestly, people in emails have said that's what they like about this more than the other Goosebumps podcasts, is that
Which one?
Apparently there's a bunch.
I'm asking which one.
They didn't.
Of the many.
They didn't say which one. They didn't name names. They didn't want to get blacklisted.
Blacklisted? No, I see it as a mutual support. Watch the other guys or listen to them. Listen to us.
What's another one?
Goosebuzz.
Goosebuzz. Say podcast and die is one I've seen.
Got dozens of likes on one of their tweets.
Yeah, I think I follow somebody who follows them. I don't think I follow them. Haven't listened to it. Give them a shot. Who cares?
You like Goosebumps?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, give them a shot. It's us. So we're on the fucking Curse of the Mummy's goddamn tomb.
Book number...
13? I think...
16?
No, I think the second one is book 17. I think this one is book 4 or book 8. Something
book
like
4?
That. This is an early one. I think I have it right here. No, I don't. Can't check this. Cannot fact check. We do not have this information.
Information is inaccessible.
It's just lost to time. There is no way to find it. So, the book starts with Gabe and his family. And they're on a trip to Egypt to visit his Uncle Ben in the Great Pyramids, where Uncle Ben's is doing his archaeology and shit. So...
Uncle Ben,
oh,
that motherfucker's dead.
Classical Uncle Ben is fucking Gabe's gonna be a Spider-Man. But for certain, Gabe is turning into a Spider-Man before the end of the story. But Gabe, I have here in my notes specifically, Gabe is really thirsty. There's a whole page dedicated
He's whining about it
to how thirsty he is, because Egypt's hot. They're in the fucking desert.
But his parents don't really care.
Yeah, his parents are wildly unconcerned with just about everything in this book. They're gone for most of it. That's sort of the entire story, is that his parents aren't around. Yeah. The parents always, in these books, adults in general.
Disappearance.
Yeah, that joke is not going to pick up, man.
Wordplay.
You need to speak louder into the mic. Maybe sit closer to it.
Why don't you move the mic closer?
Because I can't. That's the longest cord I have.
You should look into that, dude.
Well, maybe later. I can't do that right now.
Amazon.
Amazon.com.
Kick Bezos
Buy my
a few
books.
bucks.
Yeah, Bezos. We really got to help Bezos out, man.
Gabe with his parents.
His
he's
parents
cracking jokes.
He's cracking just shitty jokes. This kid fucking sucks.
At least 12.
Yeah. I had better jokes at 12, man. I was a funny fucking kid.
I have it in my notes that Gabe is a little bitch.
Oh, yeah. Gabe may be the worst main character of any of these that we've seen so far. This kid hates everyone. He is constantly complaining. He has, this sick obsession with his cousin. And, how he thinks every single thing she does and says is just to one-up him. And it's she seems a little competitive with everyone, but he's taking it so personally.
Sorry,
but we'll get to that. We're not there yet. So, they're in the fucking car, riding back to Cairo. He's playing on his Game Boy, and his parents are like, no, you're not going to go.
Original Game Boy.
Original Game Boy. And his parents are all like, no, you're not going in the fucking pyramid. No, you're going to look at him from the outside. So, obviously... this kid's gonna get in them fucking pyramids at some point. We all know that right away.
His mom forces him to put away his Game Boy so he can look at the Nile River. Which is honestly, that's probably a once-in-a-lifetime experience if you're an average American kid.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
Take a look.
Yeah. This kid should be appreciating this more.
You can lose on your shitty Game Boy any day.
Yeah. He fucking, and he's drinking like classic Coke or something. I just have classic Coke in my notes. So the parents get a call that they have business in Alexandria selling their refrigerator equipment that they needed to fly to fucking Egypt to sell for some reason.
Yeah, suddenly.
So they call his Uncle Ben, and Uncle Ben's gonna come pick him up, and he's gonna hang out with him for a while they're off in business in Alexandria with Rick Grimes or whoever the fuck.
Not the same Alexandria.
I'm pretty sure they were talking about the Walking Dead Alexandria.
This is in Egypt. And Gabe's grandparents are Egyptian, but his mother and father were born in Michigan. So is it second generation immigrants? Where you're born here, but your parents came to America.
I don't know.
I'm not sure on the terms, but that's the situation.
Yeah, that's
his grandparents
what
came over, and then they had his mother and father.
Yeah, so then I think he would be second generation I don't fucking know. I'm born and bred white boy.
We're American. We're all American.
We don't have any time for this immigration talk.
Hashtag one race.
So yeah, Gabe is immediately complaining that so Ben's gonna come pick him up, but the other shoe drops. His daughter, Sari's
brings
with him.
His daughter.
And Gabe goes on like a 3-page diatribe about how he fucking hates that bitch. And like, this part really annoyed me. I took specific note.
Oh, is it when she said she got the last level of Super Mario Land?
Yeah, but it's not just that. Do you have note of what happens next?
Because she has a Super Nintendo.
But Super Mario Land is an original Game Boy game, Gabe!
Yeah. He didn't know that.
But how? No! How were they playing it on fucking... Did they have the Super Game Boy for the Super Nintendo as well? That was not stated, Gabe. Shit, those are some...
Yeah, he can't play the game because he doesn't have a Super Nintendo, and
so
she
he
does.
Can't practice.
But he has an original Game Boy, which is what it's for. So this kid is a fucking dumbass. Yeah. Doesn't know what systems the games are on.
Immediately, like, this kid is just fucking dumb.
She lied to him, and he bought it.
He's such
fucking dumbass.
Such a little bitch. What a fucking cuck.
I hope he gets got.
This kid needs to get taken down like 5 more pegs.
And then, Sari's there, and then a mummy walks into the room.
So he grabs his mummy hand.
Real scared.
That he got at a garage sale to protect him from this mummy.
But it turns out the mummy's just his Uncle Gabe.
His Uncle Ben. Uncle Ben. And Sari laugh at him. And they're having a great time at his expense. Ben has discovered, like, a burial chamber that hasn't been seen in thousands of years. Sari keeps making fun of Gabe the whole time, and Gabe is complaining to the reader.
Climb down into a hole to get in there.
That's a bit. They gotta like get all the way in there. And So
his shoelace comes untied.
They get to the museum, or not the museum. They go to the pyramid, the dig site.
Dig site at the pyramids.
And like they gotta climb down this rough rope. Gabe's bitch little hands get cut, and he almost falls because the rope is too rough. But Sari saves his life. First fucking thing this kid thinks of when she saves his life is, why couldn't I have saved her life?
It would have been better for him. I'll tell you, when I was a kid, I almost died in a pool once. I was just in a pool, couldn't swim very well, and I almost drowned. And then my bitch of a sister came by and saved my life.
There you go.
So I owe her one.
Remember that time our friend Derek saved your life?
He didn't.
You almost got hit by that car, and he stopped you from
about to cross the street, and I was like, oh, I better stop here. And he's like, whoa, to protect me from falling into the street?
Yeah, he saved your life, man. You need to be more grateful. So, Ben immediately gets, like, pulled to the side by some of his workers, and they're like, oh, discussing this, and...
Well, no, first, before they even meet anyone in there, he stops to tie his shoe, because his shoes are untied.
Yeah, Gabe's left shoe
and he's like, whoa, wait for me, guys!
Yeah, it's like one of those fucking, like... It's a story thing I hate, honestly, of, like...
Trope.
Yeah, like, you know that character in, fucking Fairy Tale, the ice guy?
Which one?
The guy who's
always naked?
Who keeps getting undressed, and it's like, how does this happen? He's taking his clothes. Your clothes don't just
like,
come off.
Everyone's like, put on some clothes.
And he's
man.
like, huh? How did I get naked? It's like, no! You have to put effort into that. Just tie your shoe right. It won't come undone if you don't tie it wrong. So, yeah, that happens like 3 times every goddamn chapter. And, so Ben gets distracted by his workers. And then Sari, like, says, we should go off and explore on our own. And yet he
doesn't want to.
He doesn't want to because he's a little pussy. And
he says, like, no, Uncle Ben said we shouldn't, like, go anywhere.
Uncle Ben said we
shouldn't. What are you, chicken?
And then that sets him off. That triggers him hard. This kid, and then she starts clucking real obnoxiously. And, oh man, that just gets his goat. This kid can't handle it. So Gabe instantly agrees to go in. Because that's all it takes for this kid.
Psychological.
This kid's Marty McGoddamn-Fly. So yeah, they start going, and guess what? They're going down these goddamn hallways, and guess what happens again? His shoelace comes untied. So he's like, yo, wait up, let me tie this.
But she runs ahead, and he actually loses sight of her.
Yeah,
and gets lost.
He gets terrified. He's running through this fucking corridor.
Like 10 seconds, and he's already lost.
Practically pissing his pants. And then he comes to the end of the small hallway, and there's a room with a mummy case in it. And they always use the term mummy case to refer to a sarcophagus in this.
They have to say sarcophagus.
I don't think they say sarcophagus once in this whole book. And if I had to guess, I would say that the publisher thought that the age range would not be able to read that word and understand what it meant. So they forced every instance of the word sarcophagus to be replaced with mummy case.
Well, the kid is 12. Gabe is 12, so they're expecting 12-year-olds to read this?
But see, that's the thing.
And not understand sarcophagus?
These 2 kids are huge Egypt experts. Like, they're both way into this shit. They spend time at the museum for, like... No, they, like, nerd out about this shit, man. They're way into the mummy shit. And... I don't understand why they say mummy case. It's simply unbelievable. It doesn't make any sense.
So anyways, he finds the mummy case, and then he opens it up, and blam! It's Sari! She's in there!
Fake out! Fake out again! That's number 2!
Then Uncle Ben walks in, and he's like, I told you not to leave. We're done here.
Yeah, but she then tells Ben about this hilarious prank she pulled, and they both laugh at Gabe.
Oh my god.
Gabe is getting roasted by his own, like, the adults in his life.
Hey, that was a good joke.
Yeah, she got him. Although, like, was it really a good joke? He had explicitly told them not to wander off.
Oh, yeah,
like,
no, that was...
And then later when they do it, like, they all do get lost, and it is a real dangerous situation.
They immediately got lost.
Exactly! Like, it's not how it should go.
So it's like the next day.
Yeah, Gabe says, when they're all laughing at him, he's, Merry Christmas to you, too. Because apparently it's around Christmas time. That's a detail I missed up until then. But that's his hilarious comeback to getting laughed at. So yeah, they're back at the hotel.
And then Uncle Ben has to leave because some of the workers are sick. Whoa. What could that be? They're just suddenly sick, so... He's going to tell the kids to stay there and don't leave the hotel.
Don't leave. So, the moment he leaves, they say, oh yeah, we're going to just walk to the museum. And they walk to the museum. Sari convinces him like that. Like, no problem. They just go right along with it. And we forgot to introduce like a main character in that dig site, Ahmed.
I think it's pronounced Ahmed.
Ahmed is like he's like a guy at the university who works with like the ancient texts and stuff. He's one of the only experts.
Oh yeah, and they mentioned that he fears curses.
Yeah, and he's the one warning. He's very superstitious, warning them about all the curses of this mummy's tomb.
Very important character.
Very important, like the main character almost. So yeah, then back in the future,
they're in the museum.
They're in the museum. They're looking at these mummies, and Gabe starts describing how mummification works. And oh man, Sari's like she's turning green, man. She's like getting grossed out.
Normally she gets him, but now he's getting her.
And he's loving it. He is just laying into this bitch. So then across the room they see Ahmed, and he's coming in. Is that racist of me to pronounce it like that?
I don't think it's Ahmed, but it's like Ahmed.
Ahmed.
Like a hard H.
Yeah, but is Ahmed, is that like...
I don't know.
I should probably not do that.
You celebrate Hanukkah?
I mean, that might be the way to say it. I don't fucking know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, Ahmed shows up and he's stalking the children.
Well, no, he's coming right for them, and he's got like a mad look on his face, and then they just like, we gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, so he's like literally following these children.
And then he's like, hey, stop! Why are you running? Why are you running?
And he corners them. And he's like, "Oh, Uncle Ben sent me."
Yeah, why were you hurt my feelings? Why were you running? It's not nice. And then they're like, all right, yeah, sorry. And they're like, all right,
he's like, let's get in my car.
Let's get in my car. And they're like, well, the museum, the hotel's like 2 blocks away. We'd walked here. And he's like, no.
They didn't realize that.
No, he did. Because Gabe has a fantastic sense of direction.
Oh,
and he said, like, why are we taking your car? The museum or the hotel's right there. And he's like, no, we're getting in my car. So they get in the car, and they're stuck in traffic. He's honking the horn like crazy, as apparently everyone in Egypt does, according to R.L. Stein.
And then Gabe realizes...
They're going in the opposite direction.
Minutes later.
Yeah, it takes him a while to figure this out.
15 minutes later, he's like...
I wouldn't say 15 minutes, but I would
10
say
minutes
a good
tops.
few minutes. He is stuck in there.
They're stuck in traffic. They've gone a fair few blocks. And he didn't realize it.
Yeah, so then
Even though he has a good sense of direction.
They hatch a scheme, because they think they're getting kidnapped. So they hatch a scheme that at the next stop, they're going to bolt out of the car. And they do it, and then Ahmed's like, why are you running? Why are you running? And they just keep running. And then they run as fast as they can, as hard as they can away from Ahmed. And
they're lost in Egypt.
They get lost.
They don't know where they are.
They have no idea where they are, even though Gabe like literally just explained that he never gets lost and has a fantastic sense of direction. It was like the same chapter.
So I think they asked someone for directions.
So yeah, they go up to a taxi. They get in a taxi cab. And they say, can you take us to the Cairo hotel, whatever? And then he just starts laughing. And keeps laughing. And the kids start panicking, thinking, this guy works for Ahmed. No. But in the next chapter, it was a fake out. He points, and they're already at the hotel. Oh, you fucking dumb kids.
This really makes me question, like... Was Ahmed actually driving them to the hotel?
That's what's questionable.
If they were there already and they didn't travel that far after getting out.
Maybe they ran like 15 blocks.
15 blocks is a lot, man.
Yeah.
That's like half an hour for
they sprinted.
A couple kids.
They sprinted, man. It was like 2 minutes. 15 miles, 15 seconds. So.
They go back in the hotel.
At the hotel.
And then Uncle Ben like walks in the door right after them.
He's like, hey, yo, you guys go somewhere?
Did he?
Yeah, it came out that it's like, yo, fucking Ahmed just tried to kidnap us. And Uncle Ben's like, really? That doesn't seem in character for him. And just like, well, I'm going to get to the bottom of this.
He's acting confused.
Yeah.
Like, I would be like, whoa, what?
Yeah.
This guy put you in his car and was driving you away?
Ben's super confused.
Boom, knock him out.
Ben says, I'll get to the bottom of it, but I got to go back to the pyramid. You guys,
he's got to deal with the sick workers still.
You good to stay here?
He's going to leave him alone again.
And they're like, fuck no, what's wrong with you? We got to go with you to the fucking pyramid. So, they go with him to the fucking pyramid. And like, as they're going in, Ben is like, alright, you two are going to stay close to me no matter what. But just in case, here are some sonic beepers that'll send out a sound wave that I can track and come right to you if we get separated.
It's pretty futuristic.
This thing could exist, and it could just be like super basic technology.
Yeah, pagers are in the 90s.
But I don't fucking know. This sounds like some crazy technology.
He's got a Game Boy, so you can make that beep.
Yeah, might as well have a fucking laser beam. Why not?
Like an IR receiver.
So, yeah. They go into the pyramid, and they're walking down these hallways.
And then Gabe has to tie his shoe again. That shoe's always coming loose.
Fucking Gabe kneels down to tie his shoe, says, hey, yo, wait up! But Sorry and Ben are in, like, some kind of argument, so they don't hear him. And Ben must just be, like, the least responsible human being ever. No wonder his wife left him.
Oh, did she?
I mean, she's not in the picture.
Nope, maybe she died.
No.
Because he was too busy digging.
No, see, I take it as she just left. because he's just too busy with his work. He's too irresponsible, too aloof. She just couldn't take it.
She got killed by a booby trap because he's digging in the pyramids.
Why would she be in the pyramids? That's Sari's
She's supporting
character.
her husband.
Bringing him soup at the dig site. So, they get fucking separated again.
Gabe walks into a room and there's a mummy.
Yeah.
There's tons of mummies. There's mummies everywhere.
No, wait. That's not what happens. He walks into a room and the floor falls out beneath him. So he falls down like 15 feet.
Oh, yeah, he falls into the room.
And, so meanwhile, when he got lost, he did not activate his supersonic beeper. He didn't activate it because Sari would make fun of him if he used it right away.
Yeah, well, like, stupid.
So then, after he falls 15 feet into
the beeper gets
the room
broken.
filled with mummies, he decides to use it. And yeah, it's fucking broken.
Because he fell into the room.
Because Gabe's a goddamn piece of shit.
Hit a tie shoe and slipped into a room of mummies.
Which just happened to be, like, the biggest archaeological discovery of everything.
So there's a ton of mummies and a small pit of still soft tar.
Yeah.
So tar, like the shit they make roads out of.
Yeah. There's a
it's
big
still,
old
it's just still soft, still
in
hot.
there. Yeah.
After thousands of years.
Maybe,
so I would be like,
maybe not thousands of years.
Either, so that's the option. Someone made it, someone today, or it's been around for thousands of years and it's like magically powered, or it's scientifically powered with some sort of like intricate cooking system.
It is possible that as we've seen in the Mummy movie starring Brendan Fraser, the ancient Egyptians had levels of technology that none of us have ever seen and never will see again.
A full pyramid self-destruct mechanism.
Yeah, but that's not this story. We'll talk about that later. So he starts to feel something slithering around him in the room filled with mummies, and he thinks it's a mummy, but it's a scorpion!
Yeah, he steps in a pile of scorpions.
He fell into a scorpion nest, and then runs around screaming, but then he hears someone coming. Sorry! And she's like, oh, Gabe, you dumb piece of shit, you got lost. But then she immediately after that says, well, yeah, I got separated from him too. So, like, you both got separated from Ben. You're both dumb idiots. And, so
She starts looking at the mummy.
They start getting all, this is like a crazy good find. And he's like, yo, sorry.
That was a good find.
Activate your beeper so your dad'll come. And she's like weirdly hesitant to do it. She's like, we'll find him. And he's like, no, activate your beeper. Mine's fucked. Do it. So they do it. And then seconds later, they hear someone coming. And it's like, wow, he just fucking booked it right towards us. It's Ahmed. Ahmed's come in. He's got a fucking dagger and a torch. He's about ready to kill these kids. And he starts talking crazy about, like, yo, the Kala curse.
The priestess of Kala.
Priestess Kala.
He's part of her bloodline.
Part of her bloodline. And he's like, she told me to kill you guys. I gotta kill you. I gotta turn you into mummies.
He's like Merrick from Yu-Gi-Oh!
He's a lot like
living in the pyramids.
He's like Merrick and Odeon mixed. I imagine him looking a lot like Odeon.
I actually kind of think of Benny from the Mummy movie, the first one.
Really?
He's like,
see, I saw him more. I would have seen him more in line with like the guy that's like the Mummy tomb protector guy.
Oh, the cool guy?
The cool guy, yeah. I didn't see...
Oded Fair? The guy with the black hair and the beard and the bird in the second one?
I didn't see Ahmed as looking like a weaselly guy.
They described him as like, he was so scared of the curse.
Well, yeah, because curses are scary. I latched on more to like, he's like a proud member of his culture.
This guy's fucking crazy.
Well, you can be crazy and a proud member of your
threatening
culture.
Children in a basement of a pyramid.
I would say that many people are very proud of their culture and crazy.
This guy's nuts. He's threatening children.
So yeah, he's threatening children, and he's like, I'm gonna turn you kids into mummies, like I did the others who came here.
He killed them. He's murdered people.
He has murdered people in the name of this curse. So yeah, that's why there are so many mummies in this room.
He is the curse. So far, he's done the only stuff.
He's the one enforcing this so-called curse.
A serial killer with like weird religious beliefs.
Yeah, that's what I like about this book is that it's like, this is a weirdly dark one.
It's very dark. He tried to kidnap him earlier.
Child abduction. He has admitted to literally mummifying new people nowadays. Like, there are new mummies in this tomb.
Oh, and then maybe they are the mummies.
That's what they said that pretty much. That like I I turned the other people that came here into mummies, and then Ben was like, that's why some of these look so fresh.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, those were new fucking mummies. This guy's a serial killer.
And he probably preserved them well so they don't stink.
Yeah, so then Ben finally shows up. Uncle Ben drops a rope ladder down where Gabe fell, and he climbs down there like, instantly. He's just down there. And fucking Ahmed just lets it happen. But then he's like, yo, what's going on here, guys? And this motherfucker's trying to kill us. This guy's actually insane. And they just, Ben's still like, whoa, slow down there, fella. Let's talk about this. So then Ahmed bashes him in the head with the torch. Not enough to light him on fire, but enough to knock him out.
Well, a single hit isn't necessarily
and
gonna
those
light
old
someone
torches are fucking, like, heavy. Like, a proper torch has a lot of shit on it to...
Do they have oil on them, though?
It's a specific type of oil, to my understanding, that, like, it won't drip, so it's more like a sappy type
Maybe like
oil.
a napalm cream getting smeared on your face.
Yeah,
on fire.
But it's like, it has to be like a hefty piece of wood that won't just immediately catch fire in your hand. So like, a proper torch is a pretty hefty thing.
You could kill someone.
Oh yeah, you definitely could. But yeah, so Ben on the ground.
He comes up, before he gets hit, Ben is like, oh, what are you doing here? And they say, he tried to kill us. And he says, is this true, Ahmed?
He's gotta give Ahmed the benefit of the doubt. This guy seems really trustworthy.
No, believe the people you already know who are related to you who are saying something.
No, man, he's got to get to the bottom of it.
Like in Funny Games.
Funny Games.
Where the wife was like, get these people out of our house. And he was like, oh, what are you gentlemen doing here?
Yeah, oh man, Funny Games kicks ass. We need to watch the 2007 one. But, so yeah, Ben's on the ground, knocked out. Ahmed pulls him across the sand into
a coffin.
He puts him in a mummy case and locks it or whatever. But like they describe that Ahmed is a strong guy. So like he couldn't be like Benny.
He did it.
He's like a big strong man.
I guess.
Because they described that curse. I took him more as like angry, like it is cursed. Like I'm warning you,
like a
stay
Klingon.
away. With peace and love, I'm warning you. Yeah, so he then puts
Ben in a new coffin.
He puts Ben in the coffin, then he puts Gabe and Sari into a coffin.
Their own coffin, which they can sit up in, so it's pretty big.
And then they find out, oh, there's another mummy in there with them. Oh! And so minutes pass as they're stuck in the dark, and then it starts to open up their mummy case. And it's Uncle Ben, another fake out.
The sarcophagus, the sarcophagi,
the mummy case.
They're built with trick doors.
Yes,
that
trick escapes.
The cult member who's lived there for generations isn't aware of this.
Literally studies this shit and puts people in these mummy cases.
Mummifies them.
Yeah, he doesn't
trick doors.
Just doesn't know about this, or assumed that they wouldn't know about it.
Haha, yeah, trick door.
So Ben is like, he's a little groggy, like he's been hit in the head, like he's dazed. He's not at full strength. They're like trying to get out of there, but out of the darkness steps Ahmed, and he's like, "Nah, man, nah, not happening. You're not leaving.
You're gonna jump into that flaming tar pit."
Yeah, because he throws the torch, and it like ignites the tar, and he's like, we're gonna put you in the boiling tar. That's how I'm gonna kill you.
I've seen that imagery, so
yeah,
checks out for me.
That's been in some of these mummy movies, probably. There was tar in one of them.
Yeah,
because we watched like every mummy movie.
Oh god, the original one.
We'll get to that. Let's finish the recap. Yeah, so they're like getting pushed up towards the tar. It's boiling hot now, and that's when Gabe remembers. He pulls out his mummy hand, which the kid at the garage sale called a summoner. So he uses his summoner, and he holds it up, and he realizes that nothing's happening. But then 1 second later, all the mummies start moving and coming towards them.
Ahmed recognized and said, "It's the hand of the priestess.
It's the hand of Kala."
Very unlikely.
Yeah, how did this end up at a garage sale?
Destiny. And it's like a shrunken hand.
Yeah, it's a tiny little mummy hand. And all the mummies come to life and start like moving towards them, but they're not moving towards Gabe, Sari, or Ben. They're moving towards Ahmed. And Ahmed's like, no, get back! And he
turns comically slow to react to these mummies.
Yeah, he's like not understanding what's happening.
Like in the movie.
All the mummies pick him up and they're like about to put him into the boiling tar.
Yeah, they're holding him over the burning tar pit.
And then
Gabe closes his eyes because he's so scared. And then he looks up and then Ahmed's running out.
Yeah, he's running out the door comically. That's another thing I think that maybe the publishers were like, you can't have this guy boiled alive in tar in the kids' book. Change it so he runs away.
And he looks back, and all the mummies are back where they were.
Exactly where they were. Even the ones in, like, awkward positions.
This is an illusion?
No.
It didn't happen. They didn't move.
It did.
They didn't move.
They did.
It's like a ghost.
But they were right back to it. No. He said they were, like, walking back.
Yeah, that's not how I remember it.
I remember it as like they were walking back and getting back into their position.
No, they instantly returned to their original undisturbed positions.
We'll have to check this. We'll have to fact check that. Wherever the book is.
I think I have it.
Yeah. No, it's up right there. It's up right there. I can edit this out. Shit.
Don't break it.
Oh, and we have the information. It is book number 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the sequel is book 17.
To the end.
Yeah. Alright.
Gotta be like one of the last things that happens.
One of the last few pages. You cannot escape, said Ahmed. To the tar pit, he ordered.
It's after that.
It doesn't say how fast it is. It just says they were
Let me
back.
see it.
By the time he looked, it said they were back.
I closed my eyes. The heat and tar flames were swirling around me. Felt as if I was being swallowed into the steaming blackness. When I opened my eyes, I saw Ahmed fleeing to the tunnel, staggering clumsy. The mummies remained by the pit, enjoying their victory. Huh. Okay, and then he's like, blah, it's the mummies. And then Sari says, look. And then he follows the direction of her gaze. The mummies were all back in place. They were exactly as they had been when I entered the chamber. So they were at the pit, like, yeah! And then he looked away, and they looked back, and they were all back in place.
They got him. Then, like, the next day, Sari, Ben, and Gabe are all hanging out at the hotel, eating sandwiches, having a fun time. Like, he's throwing his mummy hand around, and Uncle Ben's like, wow, that thing's legit. I thought that was like a toy. And he's like, nope, it's my summoner. And then he puts it in his pocket gently. And then his parents show up. The end!
Well, it's kind of like a little scare, like someone's at the door.
So the door turned.
His parents.
Fake out. Goosebumps.
It's a happy ending.
I loved this book.
It was pretty good. Like, the stakes were...
There were real stakes, though.
Yeah.
They almost died. They got kidnapped. Like,
by
this is
a confirmed killer.
There's, like... I would say this is, like, the scariest one so far. In terms of, like, an actual horror factor.
The scary part wasn't even, like, monsters happening for a while.
The whole thing, there was no curse. The mummies only actually came in at, like, the last 5 pages. The whole thing was just this fucking guy with a knife. Killer. A guy with a knife trying to get these kids. Like, that's fucking scary.
And he's gonna mummify them. But they'd already be dead.
Oh, yeah. You have to kill them to mummify them. But still, like...
you don't have to.
Okay, well, it depends on the mummification. The mummy, Sir Brendan Fraser. Hemotep. Yeah, I really fucking like this book. Like, this was not a slog to get through. This was, like, a genuine fun read. I would give 5 bumps out of 5.
Yeah, I would agree. Great cover.
Oh, this is, like, classic cover.
Color scheme, not crazy about.
What will wake the dead? Yeah, you know, I like this blue. This is a good blue.
The blue and the pale purple.
Yeah, I like it.
It's way better.
I like it.
Books than that.
I'll have to, like, put a picture of what it looks like.
Iconic looking mummy, though.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic mummy. Fucking red eyes, under the wraps. That's good shit. That's a good mum. Yeah, so... There's no episode to review.
Out of the mummy media?
I would rate this book pretty highly.
I mean, the fact that it's not, like, real mummies is kind of
but
it's
honestly,
one of those stories.
It is, yeah. I enjoy that about it. It's very...
It's a good story, though, despite that.
I would say this is far better than Anne Rice's The Mummy.
Never read it.
I got, like, halfway through and then just had to fucking stop. I fucking hated it. Because it was, like... It wasn't really about mummies. It was about... like a hot guy and a hot girl who were mummies, and they're like the smartest geniuses, greatest people ever, and then they go on like spy adventures.
Is that the one where like the elixir they drink makes anything immortal?
I think so.
And those particles pass on anything that eats that too.
Yeah, I
so
think
if they got into like a fish or something, you'd be like immortal in a fish or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Never read it. I just read about it.
I'm not a fan of that Anne Rice book. I like a lot of Anne Rice. That's not one of my favorites. There's a sequel to this one. This one was a success. I'm excited about reading the next one because it starts.
Return of the Mummy.
The Return of the Mummy starts with Gabe like at the fucking airport, and he's
like the
getting
Mummy
into
returns.
shenanigans. Yeah, Return of the Mummy. The Mummy returns. It's all right in there. Fucking Gabe. Piece of shit. Like,
he
legit.
saved the day, but
still, he saved the day through
I was
happenstance.
really lucky. Yeah.
Like,
good thing I had this mummy hand.
if he didn't happen to buy that mummy hand that happened to be the exact mummy priestess that this guy at a garage sale in a different country, like, this is a lot of coincidence, Gabe. You must be some kind of chosen one or something.
Sorry, she was a bitch.
I remember Return of the Mummy a lot better than I do this one because, like, there was an episode of it, and I don't think I ever read this book growing up. I only ever saw Return of the Mummy.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Number 5? That's old.
Yeah, that's one of the first books. First initial run, at least. Fucking... Where would you rank it? Like...
in books?
Yeah. This might be my favorite one we've done so far.
Yeah, no, I feel like it does fit with, like, the classic earlier ones. The first one, Welcome to Dead House, then Stay Out of the Basement.
Still haven't done either of those as
Monster Blood, Say Cheese and Die. Like, damn, those are iconic.
Those are,
all of them.
Those are some top 5s.
You get those in a bundle. And this one, it's pretty good.
That one's just really... This one's just a solid read. Like, when I think back to, like, some of these books are kind of fucking just like a slog. Like, Girl Who Cried Monster is just so much back and forth, back and forth. She's going to the library, she's walking home.
Stories.
At the library, at home. Walking to the library, walking home. And it was just those same beats for 200 pages.
And then the whole family was monsters the whole time.
Like, this one, different locations were happening. They did go back to the hotel a few times. But, like, yeah, they were at the pyramid. They were at the hotel. They were at the museum. They were back at the pyramid. They were in the streets. Yeah, they were in a car. It was a much more dynamic adventure story.
Museum.
And also a far more effective horror story because those were some pretty spooky situations, as we described.
Yeah. Pyramid.
Oh yeah. That's some good shit. Oh yeah. So, there were only like two or three real shit, what is the fucking word I'm looking for?
Threats?
No. Pop culture references.
Oh, the Game Boy.
Game Boy and Classic Coke, I think, and Super Mario Land. I think those were the only ones. I don't think there was anything else. Well, Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
but
Nintendo.
Like, that whole, that exchange was like, that was most of it.
They did have one point where Gabe's father had a trick question of who built the pyramids, and nobody knows. But there has been some evidence, like, they had an actual workforce.
Yeah.
That, like, paid workers, not just slaves. But I don't really know.
Yeah, like,
I'm not an Egyptologist.
I love Egypt, and I used to, like, read a bunch of books about Egypt, but, like, that was back when I was, like, fucking 12. So, all of that information has left my head.
Fad.
Egypt was all over the place in the early aughts with the Mummy movies, and Yu-Gi-Oh! Was big.
Damn, I love those movies.
Those movies are so good.
First two.
Rewatching all of them, the first one holds up so well. The first Brendan Fraser Mummy movie holds up so fucking well.
No. If we're talking about the movies, we gotta go back to the first
1931, I think. The
Universal
first Mummy.
Classic.
Boris Karloff literally is on screen as a mummy for
2 minutes.
Not even 2 minutes, I would say. The 2 minutes being...
2 minutes is fair.
2 minutes being generous, sure. I'll give you 2 minutes.
At
the very beginning, you only see his hand move.
Well, you see his eyes open, and he's like, he's clearly breathing from the moment you see him. His eyes are closed. He's like kind of standing in the coffin with the makeup on, but he looks like a living person with makeup, and you can see him breathing. And then he opens his eyes, like, it's me, the mummy.
And then you see his hand grab a piece of parchment, and then run away. And
you
the
see
guy
someone
starts laughing.
him.
Yeah, and the guy starts ha 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 ha.
He grabs the parchment next to the guy, and then the guy kind of notices it and turns, and he's like, "Oh!"
Oh yeah, we're not doing a fucking scene by scene breakdown of that movie.
And then he leaves, and then you never see him as the mummy.
Yeah, that's the only scene of him as a mummy in that. That is the only scene with a mummy as a moving mummy in the entire movie.
Well, technically, he is a mummy.
But no, he's just a guy!
He shows up 10 years later.
He just shows up as white-ass Boris Karloff. As the ancient Egyptian pharaoh.
And then the white lady who looks just like his dead
Aksunamun or whatever.
Yeah.
Fucking that movie is bad. I enjoyed watching it because I just enjoy like the aesthetics of those old Universal black and white horror movies. Like, there's just something homey about them. I think they're fun and cheesy. But
old style. That
movie, there's just like nothing that fucking happens in that movie. It's just bad. It's not entertaining.
They like brainwash her. No, he brainwashes her with his magic, Imhotep.
Yeah.
Boris Karloff. And then she gets gaslit by all the other guys who know there's something going on, but they're like, no, you just stay in this room and rest. We're gonna go talk about big boy stuff in the other room.
Yeah, like that's a very common trope among those old horror stories, is like the men worried about one woman in a bedroom, and then the monster comes into the bedroom. Like, that happens like 3 times in Dracula.
They leave her alone, and then the monster comes in and does whatever he wants.
Does what the monsters do.
Because they weren't working together as a team.
Only other, like, noteworthy part of that movie is, like, the very end where they do whatever it takes to beat the mummy. Like, do they stab him with the super knife or something?
I don't remember.
They beat the mummy, and then they comfort the girl, and then they look over and in shock, and it's like, it just pans down to show a skeleton and bones on the floor, and then it just cuts to the end. It just ends. You know, they beat the mummy. It's over. Story's done.
A lot of movies like back then ended like that, I think.
Yeah, they did.
The end.
Like, this is where the story ends. This is goodbye. Go. Yeah. Then the fucking Brendan Fraser mummy movies.
Oh my god.
First one.
Beautiful production.
So fucking fun. Just like, that's one of the best adventure movies of all time.
I really like the escalation of how they went from like, there's no such thing as mummies, to like, holy shit, mummies are real.
Mummies are real, and they're fucking dealing with them.
They're getting killed.
Like, I enjoy that movie because Imhotep looks like a fucking fucked up walking around mummy guy for a good amount of the movie. Then he becomes the just normal guy.
He slowly gains.
At that point, they introduce so many more mummies that you don't care that he's not a mummy.
Yeah, there's more mummies.
There's so many mummies. There's tons of mummies. And there's the scarabs, which were super fun. The characters are all just a fucking blast. It's super just a cheesy, good old time. Good, fun movie. Some, the CG. The CG has aged. It's of the time.
What, 1999?
It's 1999, 2000, that era. But it's aged. It's of the time.
Still looks good.
Yeah, it's fine if you've seen stuff from that.
You want a movie about ancient Egypt and mummies? That's the one.
Yu-Gi-Oh! The Pyramid of Light, baby.
No.
And then so then that movie's fucking fantastic. Then you go to Mummy 2, and it's I hated that movie the last several times I saw it. The first few times, yeah. This time, it's fine. It's a good movie. I enjoy it.
It's the Mummy.
It's The Mummy 2. It is just...
You like what he did in the first one? He's back! They're all back.
I don't like the kid.
I think the kid is necessary.
I don't think he is necessary. I think he adds... I
love his dynamic.
I don't have a problem with adding a kid to the dynamic. I have a problem with adding that kid to the dynamic.
Oh, really?
I don't like that kid. I don't like the actor. I don't like any of his writing. I don't like what he does to the tone of the movie.
The acting. Well, I can't speak to
that. The acting was really bad.
What he said was like, he really had a good dynamic with
Mr. Echo from Lost.
Oded Fair's rival of the movie. Yeah, Mr. Echo, the black guy with the knife, and he's like stabbing it between his fingers. Like, oh, I missed.
Yeah, because the kid's talking there with his hand just like perfectly splayed out on the table, and Mr. Echo stabs the knife, and it's like right between his fingers, and the kid says, wow, you're good at that. And he says, I missed. That was a
And
trailer
like,
moment.
he escapes from him, and then...
Yeah. No, I think there's good shit
gotta-
with the kid. I just don't think that the movie overall benefits from it.
He's the hostage.
Yeah.
He's the hostage that the bad guy's team takes, so they have to follow the bad guy to the destination.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Like, the movie is clearly written around having him. I just think they could have made a better movie if they didn't have that kid.
Also, no, I don't think that at all. I also think he had a really good dynamic with, what's the uncle's name?
John?
Is it?
Jonathan. Jonathan.
Yeah, he's always fun.
Jonathan!
We
We didn't even mention him. He's like the best character in all these movies,
movie.
honestly.
He's like, he's a treasure hunter, kind of, and he's like trying to talk his way out of stuff, but he's not like super smooth,
No,
really.
he's-
He's like comical relief,
Yeah.
like the funny guy,
But he is-
slipping into situations.
At least in the first movie. He didn't do as much in the second and third, but he's a clever guy. Like, he'll pull the right thing at the right time. That was a big part of his character in the first movie, was how, like, he fit in with their dynamic. Like, he kept pickpocketing people.
He's a literal thief.
Like, the only reason that the movie continued is because he just happened to steal that thing, the key, from the one guy that was on fire.
Yeah, he's the rogue character.
Stole a key off of a burning man.
Well, he stole it from him.
like that's the type of characters he's gonna get that thing back. And then in the second one he's more just the comic relief, but he's still good.
He's driving and stuff.
Yeah, he's still good. Like, the second movie's still good.
When he's running through the forest from the pygmy guys.
I don't care for the pygmy
He
section.
runs into like a mook from the bad guys team, and they're like running together through the forest.
It reminds me of that the whole pygmy segment reminds me of one of the most annoying, and I don't know why I still remember this. I was like 13 or 14. It was my birthday, and we went to see Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh my god, the monkeys.
The monkeys showed up and saved the day, and then this kid in front of me that must have only been like a year or two younger than me went, "Sweet monkeys." And I remember just like, fuck you, kid. Like, I didn't say it, but I immediately hated this child in front of me.
As a child.
I was a pretty cynical kid. And I was getting into, like, prime asshole me territory. So, like, that was the beginning of me just hating. Angry teen who hates everything. Teen. I was an edgy-ass teen. And I say that as an adult male or adult, whatever, adult that paints his nails black. I'm edgy. I don't give a shit. But I was an edgy-ass teenager.
Jackpot, baby.
Jackpot. So then, you know, the second Mummy movie it's fine. It's fun. You can watch it.
I'd recommend it.
If you watch the first one, watch the second one.
Yeah, why not?
It's just more of it.
Like an action-adventure romance?
I don't think it's as good as the first one, but it's still fun. It's still good. Still a fun, watchable movie.
It's debatable.
Then you get to Curse of Mummies,
Dragon Emperor,
the Dragon Emperor,
Curse of the
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
He's a dragon.
I think the movie's called The Mummy, the Tomb of the Dragon Emperor.
Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Could be.
I'm got it right here. Yeah, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. Yeah. Because he turned into a three-headed dragon that one time.
He can turn into any creature.
No! He can only turn into the most hideous creatures.
Creatures, though.
Yes. He can turn into multiple different monsters.
Any creature that is hideous, really.
Yes. But only the most ones.
Okay.
The top tier of the hideous creatures.
Turned into Ghidorah.
I'm just quoting the movie here. That movie sucks. It's just not good. It's just not good.
It's not Chinese enough.
It was like 7 years too late, and it just sucks. Like,
the music was
terrible.
terrible.
The music is awful. The son character is a totally different and worse character.
He's trying to be like cocky and adventure.
Yeah,
but like, also smart.
Yeah, they're trying to just have him be a combination of both Brendan Fraser and the mom.
No, that's
character.
a good idea.
Good idea. Just
I don't think he pulled it off.
The actor didn't pull it off. I don't think the dialogue was written well enough to be like snappy in that way.
I didn't believe them falling in love. The son,
not at all. Not at all.
Immortal Chinese girl.
Yeah, that just it happened because the script said it was gonna happen.
In the first movie, it was Rick O'Connell and Evie, the librarian. He's like a swashbuckling adventure guy and soldier in actual wars. And she was a dusty librarian. But like they combine and work together,
and that's what I liked about Jonathan in that movie.
They really fell
he
in
was
love.
actually like the bridge of like he does go out and like get the stuff and do adventures, but he also knows enough about it to like know what's worth money.
Oh yeah, the knowledge.
Yeah, he has a little bit of the knowledge just to know what's worth money, but is also a little bit of the adventure. But he's also not good at either one, so he's that good middle ground. So like that's sort of what they were going for with the kid, but.
Not stupid.
Yeah, that's the thing. The competency of the character was what changed.
Jonathan was like a butt of a joke.
Yeah, Jonathan was aware of both worlds, but incompetent in both. As where their son Alex in the third movie is
an
a
archaeologist.
master of both.
He was an archaeologist on like a top dig.
And is as good as his mom and dad, if not better in some ways.
Yeah, and he's like really good with guns.
Yeah, he's good with guns, he's good with the knowledge, he's good with everything. So it's like...
They should have just had someone else do the movie.
It just...
They wanted to do that story.
Yeah, the kid just has too much. He's just too good. I don't like him. This kid's a Mary Sue!
No, he's an archaeologist. He's an Indiana Jones.
But
he is a legitimate archaeologist, but he does have that adventure skill.
If there is ever an excuse for the use of the term Mary Sue, or Gary Stu, whatever you want to say, it is the son in Mummy 3. Like, that kid is just good at fucking everything. Everyone instantly falls in love with him. It's that
he's not playing it well.
He's not playing it well, and sucks.
He's not making me fall in love with the character.
Exactly. I'm not...
And I don't believe he fell in love with the Chinese girl, because...
And I don't believe for one second she fell in love with him.
Yeah, they were suddenly in love. Like, oh, I can't be with
this
you.
Jesse Plemons looking fuck. Yeah, he looked weird, too. Like, he's not, like, a traditionally handsome guy. Yeah, and I get, like, Brendan Fraser isn't, like, a traditionally attractive guy. But he's got, like, a look to him that
was
works.
his appeal in the first two movies. He is the adventurer guy. He's
strong,
in
the first two movies,
funny.
he was hot, but, like, in a non-conventional way. And in the third movie, it's like, all right, it's been 7 years. You're an older man. You're playing an older man now. Like, you're not quite as slim and attractive.
Brendan Fraser, he looked like, in his prime, he looked like a guy that I'd say he looks good, but he could also knock you out.
What he looked like in the third one was, like a noir detective, like how they're described in the books as just, like, a brick of a man with the hat, and he's like the coat just made him look big.
Because it was in the 40s, and they were trying to go for that kind of style.
Yeah, they were going for that, post World War II noirish look.
And he had a flashback to the war at some point.
Yeah, because they did.
But which war?
It had to have been World War II, right? This is what, 1947?
1946 and 47, yeah.
So yeah, it would have to have been World War II.
I just didn't think it was very clear.
Yeah, it was not clear, and it also, like...
But they knew a guy who flew a plane.
Yeah.
The guy from Game of Thrones.
The Onion Knight, yeah. I fucking love that guy. Sir Davos. I fucking love that actor. He's been a bunch of shit. I saw him in something recently, but I don't remember what it was. Yeah, don't watch Mummy 3. You don't need to.
I feel like Jet Li. He's in it.
He's not even good in it, though. He's CG for, like, most of it. And
I like the concept of the Dragon Emperor, but...
Yeah, I love... Honestly, the best part of the movie is the opening, like, 10 minutes, where it's just...
Oh, yeah, that's a whole epic.
It's just, like, I would have preferred to have just watched the Jet Li, like, becoming a mummy movie instead of what we got.
He's trying to find immortality, and then he threatened a witch who fell in love with his general, and then, like, that's the daughter.
Yeah.
The immortal Chinese girl is her mom, the original witch.
Yeah,
they did find immortality, and if he drank from the pool of eternal life, he'd be unstoppable. And then he just walks right in there.
One thing I do appreciate about 3 is it sort of blends, like, American movie-making style with Chinese movie-making style, in terms of, like, the action scenes, where, like, the girl and the Chinese, all like the Chinese guys are doing a more like wuxia style.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no, she moved like
they're
wuxia.
they're doing that.
She's
but
jumping around on strings.
all the American characters move like American action heroes with their guns. So it's like I like that was sort of like
interesting,
a clash of cultures of like that's sort of what it was of these like. These guys only did Egypt shit as we saw, and then, now they're doing a Chinese thing. So
magic.
It's like culture clash.
Magic exists in this world.
Yeah. But then they keep going down into mummy tombs!
Well, no. It was set up earlier when they changed the actor who played Evie. I forget her name in reality.
I don't know who either of these actors.
It's a new actress, and she's like, "Oh, I feel like I'm a different person" when they first show her face.
because they changed the actor.
The audience knows. But like, yeah, she wrote books based on the first 2 movies, and they sold super high. And people are like, "Oh, you gonna write another book?" And she's like, I don't know.
So you got writer's block.
And so they're both sitting at home, married, but like not on an adventure. So they're like both kind of bored. And then, oh, you got to deliver this gem to the Shanghai consulate.
That's a racist voice. We're talking. I did some racist voice with Ahmed for like a second and stopped.
That's how the Chinese speak. That's the accent.
We're gonna let YouTube in the comments decide that one.
Either way, it's a white British guy saying,
Should we
"Hey,
keep doing racist voices?
You're gonna deliver this gem to the Shanghai. It's
Shanghai nice."
It's a British guy. So he says, like, "Oh, you want to deliver this gem?" And they're like, "You know what? Fuck yeah!" They're off on an adventure.
Yeah, they do like little excuses.
They run into
like,
the sun, and it's
safe.
like 25. He's like 25 years old.
I think he would have had to have been like 20.
No, he was
22
mid-25s. No, because the first movie was set. No, the second movie.
But he
was set
dropped out of college,
in 1933.
so he would have had to have been between like 18 and 22.
No, the second movie was in 1933, and the son said, "I'm 12 years old." And the third movie was 1947 when they run into him. So that was 14 years later. So he would have been 26.
Wow. All right, that's math I didn't want to do.
Yeah, dropped out of college. Early to mid 20s. They run into him. There's daddy issues. Brendan Fraser like, "Oh, I didn't raise you like I shoulda."
We've gone on quite a mummy rant.
What? Oh, look at this gun, Dad. Oh yeah, well this gun's better.
Yeah, and that whole scene was like 80 yards. So like
most of the movie was 80 yards.
Everything sounded weird. The music was so bad.
Everything looked kind of weird.
Yeah, it was 7 years too late. Like
7 years too early.
No. Brendan Fraser.
So the movie would have looked way better today.
Yeah, but Brendan Fraser wouldn't.
Oh yeah, no. He's playing a robot now.
We should probably. There's one last.
The Yetis.
Fuck
the Yetis are in
Fuck the Yetis. There's still one more mummy movie.
What do you prefer, the Yetis or the Pygmies?
Pygmies. Pygmies are a shorter scene, and they're just more a direct threat. They do less stupid shit.
And they're not, like, alive.
No, they're just, like...
They're actually dead, undead creatures.
They're just, like, little creatures.
A Yeti is a living animal.
And the Yetis are in, like, so much of that movie. They're like a character, practically.
They help them out.
They help them out, like, 5 times. In every instance they're in that snow area, they're helping.
They use Yetis to carry an injured Brendan Fraser through the mountains.
Yeah, it's fucking weird, because he gets killed and then put in Shangri-La.
Oh, yeah, they revive him, because they gotta have someone die and revive.
That one's just not good, but there is one that's worse.
What?
Tom Cruise.
Oh, God. Ugh.
That
PTSD,
is
dude.
That is the Mummy in modern era.
Remember the plane scene? Where he's like falling out of the plane and they changed the audio so other stuff.
It wasn't changed audio. It was It was that it wasn't final audio, and it was just like oh, and like one or two things clinking as he's like flying around inside. That's some funny shit.
Bad movie though.
Oh, it's so bad.
I heard they cut scenes of the mummy lady, the lady who played it.
You gotta have more time for Dr. Jekyll.
The whole point was it's this new female mummy. Why are you gonna cut her scenes?
You gotta cut her scenes because at the end of the movie, Tom Cruise becomes the mummy.
Don't make it Tom Cruise.
He gets all the mummy's powers and wins.
That's why that is my suggestion for any movie.
Don't make it Tom Cruise.
Don't make it about Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise can be in it. He can be the star. Edge of Tomorrow. Love that movie. He is great in it.
He's great in it. Fantastic.
Is it about Tom Cruise? No, it's about his time travel. His Groundhog Day.
There's still a fair amount of Tom Cruise.
He's in it. Emily Blunt, she's in it.
Yeah, she's good. I like her. Yeah. I think she's a good actress.
Strong woman.
Gotta name the episode.
This episode?
Yeah.
The Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. Tomb of the Mummy's Curse.
Do you not remember the naming convention of this podcast?
Remind me. It's been a while, honestly.
The Curse of the Mummy's Boys?
The Curse of the Boyz Tomb.
Curse of the Boyz Tomb, or the Boys of the Mummy's Tomb?
That's a little obvious.
Is it?
Yeah.
Isn't the Curse of the
We're the Boys of the Mummy's Tomb.
Isn't that the same as, like, the Curse of the Boys Tomb? Like,
no,
it's just as obvious.
Curse of the Boys Tomb.
Well, I'm gonna be the one naming this.
I vote for that.
I'm gonna name it the Boys of the Mummy's Tomb because I edit these.
Yeah, you gotta do it, so we don't have to do the good one.
We did get an email.
Next time.
No, there's an email.
This time on emails.
This is the first time I think we've ever read emails.
Yeah,
that's
give
the
a
wrong
shit.
one.
Send us a tweet.
Send us an email at
shit.com.
Gooseboyspodcast@gmail.com. That's Gooseboyz with a Z.
And a Z.
No, with a Z.
There's a G in it.
Sure, but that's contradicting.
Gooseboyz.
Yeah, I did respond. Hey guys, this is from, I don't know if he wants to say the name, some 26-year-old guy in Australia that thinks Goosebumps is cool. Hey guys, I never do this, but I wanted to say that I think your podcast is amazing. I figured while I was stuck working from home, I'd listen to the countless Goosebumps-based podcasts and laugh at some of the more amateur attempts. After getting to yours, I got a breath of fresh air with decent jokes and critiques of both the books and the TV show.
Well, not this episode.
Hope you boys with a Z get your technical difficulties fixed and you're able to upload more episodes. Keep the jokes rolling. That's a good podcast.
Whoa. View entire message. I don't want to miss anything.
That was it. That's just a thing that's at the end of every single thing, to just have it be like a full page.
Well, I appreciate it. I love being funny.
Yeah, I love. Yeah, good. Thanks for the stuff, man. That's good stuff. Good.
We'll work on the jokes.
No, the jokes are perfect. He said they're perfect jokes. That was the only email we got, so. That's it for that segment.
Keep them coming.
R.L. Stein trivia. What does he... Classic checkup. Do we remember what R.L. stands for?
No.
Robert Langdon.
But I have to say there's a certain Twitter account that makes joke Goosebump books.
Oh, that...
Like R.N. Stonk.
I think that there's one that's like a bot that does it, and that was made by Neil Cicierega of... Fucking so many things. Just look him up. He's amazing.
B.L. Twonk. Fake author names.
I love fake author names in general. They're usually good stuff. Fucking verses. I don't remember what most of the verses segment is.
In the context of this story, Curse of the Mummies,
it would be against Ahmed.
Ahmed is a living human.
Yeah. So who would be like he
Jack
would go.
Sparrow could beat him.
No, he would go up against. Go up against Benny. Why not? Could Benny stumble his way out and betray Ahmed?
See, no, Benny, he would actually like jingle his necklaces and call the real Imhotep to kill him.
No, this is Benny versus Ahmed.
Okay, he has no special powers.
No mummies, just his own abilities and weapons.
Whoa, so Ben has a knife? Or Ahmed has a knife?
Ahmed has a knife. Benny has guns, though.
Yeah. Okay, he
wins. Benny wins. Yeah, he just takes a gun.
He's a better schemer, too.
Yeah, and he would just, like, say, oh, yes, I love Kala.
He would beg and then, like, throw sand
Priestess
in his eyes.
Kala's my favorite.
Push him in the pit.
And then, push him right into that tar pit and then run off with all the mummy's gold. Benny takes that one, no problem. As for the segment of making up a sequel, we can't. There is a sequel.
The Blessing of the Mummy's Tomb. Where it's
actually,
they go into an inverse pyramid where it's bright.
It would be following Ahmed this time, as because he's been scared out of this mummy shit, but now he's got to go deeper into his ancestors' tombs,
and he finds the real mummies.
Yeah, and he has to team up with him, and he becomes a mummy to get revenge on Gabe, and that would be in the third book.
And he becomes the priest of Kola. The Kola mummies.
Kola classic. Yeah. I guess that's it.
Okay. Next time.
See ya!
Next time on Gooseboyz.
I don't remember what...
Return of the Mummy?
The Return of the Mummy.
It's the next episode.
Yeah. I don't know why I was confused. Alright.